It was a full day, very full day. We started with the ministers and the politicians, and then it was the bankers, then it was the technology, then it was the senior citizens, who are still here, some of them giving their respectable wisdom, and then the young generation. And the beauty was that the young generation, although we spoke about regulation and technology and novel technology, they used words which were different. George talked about humans, talk about romance, talk about being in love. Isabellina, who came from the north, said, I'm in love now. So it is interesting because we went through a discussion of pure bankers and money and return on investment. We continued with automation and artificial intelligence, and now this affects the behavior of the people and the future of the people. And we ended up with young people talking about emotions as well. So I think it was a good day. It was a good day because we all talked and know about the difficult times. You all talked and know about the huge amounts that have been lost in the industry. But it's a good day because we're here. We're talking about shipping. She paid the ticket to come here. She paid the food that we eat. And shipping is still sustainable and is still receiving the money of the world to continue growing and existing. And perhaps this is happening. Why? We mentioned it many times ago. We are not selling perfumes. We are not creating services, software. We are serving the world. And the world without us will be more difficult. So because we have the confidence of serving the world, irrespective of situations, we continue doing it with joy and love. Having said this introductory rounding thing of the discussion, I would like to touch upon the daring title, in markets we trust. Borrowing something theological, in God we trust. In gods we trust. The Muslims, the Jews, the Hindus, the Buddhists, the Christians, in God we trust. Why? Because God is eternal, is stable, is existing for years, is everywhere. We have a reason to trust. And what is trust? What is trust? Trust is faith, trust is confidence, trust is hope, trust is belief, trust is a sense of safety. Trust is that I continue walking and I feel the presence of the trusted entity. So in God we trust. In God we trust. And we take this theological, philosophical, and say, in markets we trust. That was the first title Despina gave me, in markets we trust. And I feel that either Despina or Martin felt a little bit guilty with the word in markets we trust. And they said, in market fundamentals we trust. And the question is, what is markets? What is markets which qualifies the markets to be trusted? Markets in shipping, markets in different sectors of shipping, markets of the virtual shipping community which creates a huge volume of transactions, derivatives, futures, forwards, or whatever. There are so many markets. And particularly when we talk about the new companies that are in the stock exchange, we have the physical fundamentals which influence supply and demand and create the freight rate. But we also have the virtual markets, which also affect the freight rate. But when we come into stock exchange, we're talking about stock markets. And the shipping companies of the stock exchange are handling two totally different worlds. A world of shipping and a world of stock exchange. So which markets do we trust? Which markets have the qualifications of the God? Stability, certainty, clarity, transparency, this feeling of relaxation, so that we trust. Before asking us to review this statement, let me say something which makes us feel better. When you talk about oversupply and losses and tremendous deficit in borrowing, tremendous amounts of money borrowed, it is important not to forget, I think, that we are not alone. This euphoria of the pre-Lehman period created a total overactivity in economic behavior. And we have an oversupply in real estate, in offices, in houses, in steel mills, in roads, in trains, in aeroplanes. Everything was oversupplied with the utopia that world is growing continually without changing. Because world was changing not because the poor billions were getting richer. The world economy was growing because the richers were becoming richer. So there was not a fundamental change in the balances of the world and in the physical requirements of the trade and transportation. So shipping is inflated. It is now inflated in terms of oversupply. He talked about the taxes. But the world is overinflated. So, having talked about this overinflation of the economies, which of course will sometime lead somewhere, this huge deficit of countries, which create a ridiculation of the value of money as an exchange instrument. The money that are in the air, which are owed to banks, are so big that we all know that they will never be paid. So this changes the notion of money as a value. So having said all that, I would like to sing you a song, which is reviewing the situation. You remember in Mary Poppins, reviewing the situation. And then he said something Savleri said, with a spoonful of sugar and the medicine go down, the medicine go down. And that is what we are doing. Are we believing in markets, ship owners? When I was a student, I was trying to understand the behavior of ship owners. And at that time, that was the Institute of Bergen Shipping Research, which was analyzing the behaviors of ship owners. The Uklands, the Nices, the Jepsens, the Jakobsens, all the Norwegians, when the Greeks entered. And the conclusion was that ship owners are the totally zero memory investors. They remember nothing, they repeat their mistakes, but shipping exists. That's the interesting thing. Shipping continues existing, which means it means something. It means that maybe it is not the market fundamentals, because if we trust market fundamentals and we see that there is this huge oversupply, what should we do? Not buy ships, not make ships, close shipyards. So we do not believe in market fundamentals. We do not at all believe in market fundamentals. I would like Martin Stopford to be here because he's the chief analyst of the world. And I think that he should agree that analysis, which is a projection of statistical processing in 2 or 3 years forward, cannot be as substantial as to define the behavior of somebody, people, family, seafarers who are defining their lives for many years ahead with this very short-sighted capacity of statistical information to create projections. So we do not believe in markets. I think we believe in ourselves. We have the confidence that irrespective of the weather, we will manage to cope. We believe in ourselves because Odysseus, Ulysses, was resourceful and found solutions. We believe in ourselves because also Odysseus and his crew, in the big storm, they said, Poseidon, oh Poseidon, help us. And now we say, Άγια μου Νικόλα, στάσου στην πλώρη μου. So we believe in ourselves and our capabilities, probably because we do believe in divine. I'm not going to talk about the Christian God. I think that we have this non-fear and confidence that we will manage. Because irrespective of markets, deficits, oversupplies, whatever, trade wars, stock exchanges, governments, we believe that the world needs the ships to carry the cargoes and serve the billions of people. So we are optimistic people. We believe in ourselves and our capabilities. We're a little bit crazy, and we are, as George said, and the young people said, and Isabelitza said, I got involved, I got into the Austrian school, in the other school, in the French school. It was 135 years of family business. I had the choice. I could become a butterfly collector, a banker. She said, I got in love with shipping, and she's there. So we are in love with what we're doing. It is the soul. It is the DNA. It is something engraved to serve the world, and we do it well. So that is some feelings I wanted to express with a very daring and very, Despina and Martin, blasphemic statement that in markets we trust. No, in God we trust. In gods we trust. And having said that in God we trust, and to use positively the word fundamentals and close, let's talk about the fundamentals of our environment. Let's talk about the fundamentals of our patria, this patridas was of Greece. What is Greece? What are the fundamentals? The fundamentals is that we have got a country which is the tip of Europe for millennia. It is the closest distance from Africa. It is the bridge between East and the West. It is the cradle of philosophy and democracy. It has got the sun, these good people, the joy, the smile. If we believe in fundamentals, if we believe in our God, then isn't it a pity to allow our country to be in depression as it is at those times? Isn't it a pity to be carried away by the ephemeral fluctuations of politicians who play their political games and not realize the stability, the credibility, the safety of this country, which is hospitable and wants people to come and join us here because we can offer the climate, the joy, the smile, and the creativity together. So what I would like to end this rounding up and this philosophical challenge Despina gave me, and I felt a little bit scared, because going against Martin Stopford, who is the king of the market analysis, is a very daring thing. I have great respect for Martin. But having thought deeper and reviewing the situation, I think we believe in ourselves. We believe we serve the world, and we can do it, and we're doing it well. So let's do it also, because we're here, and there is a tremendous potential of investment in this under stress economy, and also foreign direct investment in this hospitable, welcoming country. Let's do something for what we have in our hands and make the place a happy place as it used to be, and ourselves happy living here. So, thank you very much.